Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to notice that actual original speaker, Dr. Moon, couldn't join today's meeting, so this topic is presented by me, her colleagues. I'm honored to have the opportunity to present here. The purpose of today's presentation is to review briefly about the presensity indices of Pectus excavatum. No disclosure. So why do we need index? The role of index is summarizing the data, assessing the severity and characteristics of the individual patient, and supporting the decision-making process as an evidence. Also, assessing post-operative changes. Indices enable the comparison of different surgical techniques. There are many indices in the literature, and some are banished and no one look after anymore, but some are still thriving. The basis of indices are also vary, X-ray, CT, and MRI. Today we are going to review some of well-known CT indices. Everybody here in the room know the Haller index. Described by Dr. Haller in 1987, Haller index derived from dividing the widest horizontal distance of the inside of the rib cage, here distance A, by anterior posterior diameter B. The shorter distance between the vertebra and sternum. The Haller index is easy to measure, has high inter-observer reliability owing to its simple measurement. Haller index still remains as a useful tool in judgment of operative indication. The cutoff value is 3.25. However, as many researchers have pointed out, there are several issues. Let's start with the cutoff point. Is there really convincing sound evidence regarding Haller index providing accurate information to guide surgical indication? Most widely known cutoff point is 3.25, but other researchers propose different values, such as 2.7, 3.2, or 3.1. Also, the Haller index distribution between normal people and Pectus excavatum patient, about 40 normal patients are overlapped with Pectus excavatum patient, meaning the discriminating power is not good, which questions the value as an index. Because the Pectus deformity is three-dimensional, it has many features. When evaluating the cardiac function, we see not only ejection fraction, but also LA volume, diameter, LV mass, or valve function. Therefore, we might need such a combination of deformity indices. In 2004, Dr. Park first proposed the four indices: depression index, asymmetry index, eccentricity index, unbalanced index. For depression index, you have to draw an imaginary line here that chest wall will have after surgery. Then, depression index is measured by the ratio of imaginary AP distance after repair with the shortest AP distance before surgery. This measures reflects the degree of depression compared to the normal contour that the patient will recover after surgery. The symmetry index is the ratio of anterior-posterior distance at the level of deepest depression, and if the ratio is 1, which means symmetric Pectus excavatum, if the ratio is larger than 1, then it is left side of symmetric Pectus. So this indices indicates a symmetry in AP direction. The eccentricity index indicates the deep point of deformity is central or lateral to one side. Last, unbalanced index is the ratio of the slope degree in both sides, which one can figure the shape of the repair but should have. The weak point of the depression index here, you have to draw the imaginary line to get the distance A, which can be quite arbitrary and also cannot be obtained before surgery. Also, there's no cutoff point yet, which might be needed of international studies. Another well-known index is correction index. This was described by Dr. Peter from the CT scan obtained at the end of inspiration. A horizontal line is drawn across the anterior spine here. And correction index measures the minimum distance between the posterior sternum and anterior spine here, B. Then the maximum distance between the anterior spine and anterior portion of the chest. The difference between these values means amount of defect, which in turn divided by the widest point and finally multiplied by 100. The resulting value is the percentage of pectus depth the patient is missing. It meaning it represents the percentage of chest depth to be corrected by surgery. The cutoff point of serial pectus is 10%, and this box is well correlated with the HALA index. But this is brilliant, however, has also some limitation. This index does not consider either the asymmetry or eccentricity of the deformity. The only information we can get is the degree of depression. There is no information about the degree of asymmetry or eccentricity, and which are important factors during the surgery. For asymptomatic pectus, which should be A1 or A2, left or right, it can affect the value of correction index. Because of the time limit, I have reviewed either well-known or promising indices briefly. We all know the requirements for good index, like good markers for cancers. I can provide clear discrimination, characterize important features of the pectus deformity, can guide treatment decision, and easy to measure. As several masters have pointed out through their studies, really it's time for setting good index for pectus excavatum, and possibly for pectus carinatum. I guess this C-week meeting is an excellent chance for starting the international task force composed by international experts. I appreciate for all of you for being here. This completes my presentation. Thank you.